The contract signing is our final segment, hosted by Adam Pearce. Reigns comes out, that ate about 8 minutes up, followed by Seth. And Seth
Dude, between the final bell of that gauntlet match and by the time Rollins and Reigns both got into the ring, like there were 20 minutes here.
There was no excuse for an overrun. Chris Park did not need to have a heart palpitation over those 15 minutes. So Rollins immediately signs the contract, and he notes how his song drowns out the OTC chants, and the fans took this as a challenge to start loudly chanting OTC, although they were going back and they were dueling chants. He says there's 3 things in life that are guaranteed: death, taxes, and a really long Seth promo, either at the beginning or the end of a show, because he has Reigns' number every single time except those couple of losses that we're not acknowledging. Reigns, and I swear, makes fun of his promo last week for boring everyone to death and calls Rollins a hater. It's the only thing you're number 1 at. He says, you have confused the people to think that we're on the same level, and I'm going to show the difference between us at SummerSlam. And Reigns signs the contract, and Rollins says, thanks for keeping the title warm for me. I'll see you next time you feel like showing up for work. And Rollins goes to end. I'm like, if this is the end of the goddamn show, holy Christ. And even Reigns, he's like, is that it? I was like, okay, there's more to this. He said, you're just going to sign the contract and run? Let's talk a bit more. It's like, this is what this program needs, more talking. So Reigns asks, what are you going to do if you win it? What's going to happen? You'll carry the title for a few months and get hurt again? It happens every time. Some would say it's self-sabotage. You can't handle the pressure and the burden of being the top guy. So this gains Seth's interest as he returns to the ring. And Reigns starts poking at his bad shoulder. And Reigns is then asked, or told by Seth, just spit it out. Don't hold back. It's like, he's kind of laid out his case, has he not? He called you like you're a little paper.
What else does he need to say?
You're made of glass, basically. Like, what more does he need to add to the case here? Reigns goes on. He says, you're number 2 because you still need a Money in the Bank briefcase to become champion. And you had to fake an injury to use the damn thing. He says, they tried to make you number 1. Even your work daddy is basically running the place. And he said, you couldn't walk in my shoes. You'll always be number 2. So just acknowledge it, bitch.
So what does that mean? Like, what are we talking about here? You can't, like, number 1, you didn't make it as number 1 in what? Like, merchandising, sales, like he's calling him a bad draw in that he can't lead the company as a top draw, right?
Yes, that's what but he's invoking Levesque here. So it's like, what would Levesque have in terms of this? Are we getting into?
I guess, like the booker or like, I don't know, like a matchmaker can somehow prioritize opportunities for their athletes, right?
Yeah, I guess.
It's okay. It's a read between the lines type of, like, whatever type of promo.
Is it effective? I think that's another question.
Certain lines I felt were. Yeah, certain lines I felt were.
Well, Seth says, is that all you've got? Tell me how I'm never going to be as big as you or draw as much money. Anything you tell me, I've told myself that for the past 15 years. I've told myself we're not running the same race or fighting the same fight. I'm proud of who I am and what I fight for, and I'm so glad I'm not you. And then Seth just decks him here. Just like,
yeah,
he throws the first shot here.
Yeah, Seth, I thought like the promo made him feel like this sort of like underdog, like, you know, who's again doesn't have the advantages of Roman Reigns as I don't know, in terms of charisma, I guess, or like aura or whatever, what have you. But then, like, he makes the first, like, cheap shot, which colors him certainly more as a heel. So I didn't feel like that was all that congruent, but I mean, they would probably just tell you like, hey, like they hate each other, and do you buy the hatred by the end? You know,
I just found both. It's not like neither of them to me came across as like the guy you're rooting for in all of this. I would say, like, if asked to guess, I would imagine the fans would default to Roman here. Like, to me, like the whole promo was laid out to be like, you're not as good as me, and this is why. This is reason number 1, 2, and 3. And Seth just kind of came back and said, yeah, I'm not as good as you in all these.
The promo was laid out, at least like through Rollins, that Roman can never beat Rollins, or at least like that's kind of what he said. Even that has been debated because he's beaten Rollins, but he's never beaten him.
Isn't that we've created the obstacle for the heel in this equation to overcome? like Roman is the one that you are rooting for to get this big win.
So in story, like Rollins is able to beat Reigns. Okay, so in ring he's not as good as him, but Reigns still remains number 1 in business, or at least like as a top draw or like a quarterback, or whatever that means in the fiction. And somehow Rollins is not satisfied enough to know that he can beat Reigns. Like,
so why are they wrestling? Like, what does this match prove if beating him doesn't matter? And I'm number 2, no matter the fact I've always beaten you in all of these matches. So I'm going to beat you again, and somehow this is going to change.
I don't think the match matters.
I think a lot of these promos, like the goal of these is to get to a personal level where at the end of it, you can excuse a lot of it, but it's in the absence of believing like there's a real hatred here and there's a grudge that you want to see. And I think they've overthought this to such a degree and are just trying to get in these little cute lines. And I don't know, there's something about this pairing that has really not clicked for me since like this started, and each week I feel they've like gotten more and more in this hole for me.
I agree with you. Something about this whole story does not feel like as I think like smooth and as like digestible as like
the Cody and Punk, I have no doubt will be much more effective in doing a very similar like two guys wrestling to determine who's better than the other. That I have no doubt they will hit on this in a much more engaging way.
I don't think they've been able to land on like the sort of crux of like why they hate each other. I thought they introduced maybe a lot of reasons why. But John, this is the type of like promo, and you can argue this is the type of product that is made off of like just those individual, oh, you talked about Triple H, like, oh, you talked about like, I don't know, having to fake an injury. Like the crowd is not listening to consider whether or not this makes sense in totality. They're listening for these individual lines that they can react to. And they were really hot for the entire segment because of the star power here. So I think that's probably enough to be like, I don't know, like just to classify this as a successful segment, certainly more than last week's for Seth Rollins, because he got reaction here versus last week where he kind of struggled. And I think they will look at this, the producers of the show as a success just because of how hot this crowd was just for the two of them.
Well, as they get to blows, Seth goes to strike Reigns and he's asking, where's the bloodline now? I know who I am, you piece of shit. And he goes for the stomp, but is hit with a Superman punch. And as Reigns lifts him for a powerbomb, Seth strikes him with the microphone, hits a pedigree, and delivers the stomp to Roman.
Yeah. Physicality, I enjoyed, I thought all of that was very strong. So, like, I am looking forward to the match. I think the match will be strong, but I don't think it's been the best story.
Michael Cole summarized it perfectly as he went off the air, saying, we still have 3 weeks until SummerSlam.
Like, 3 weeks? Oh, my God. That's a lot. How many Roman appearances?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, well,
the contract's been signed. We can't do another one of these. Is it time for under one roof or face to face?
I already feel like they are kind of struggling to find material to explain why these two hate each other, because they've revolved around each other so much, and I feel like they've already introduced a lot of it, but I just like...
All I'm saying is the top 2 Raw programs, we have both come away with saying like, we don't need to see any more segments before SummerSlam between this and Oba and Brock. So I think like I don't know. It's
we need a car, like we need some sort of vehicular attack we need cops, fake cops,
we did that. That's off. Yeah. That's been checked off. Right. Well, fake cops. We didn't do real cops, did we? Roman is not listed for next week, at least on the event page. And let's look at the go home show. That's the Intuit Dome. I would think everyone's going to be on that show. Yeah, Roman and Brock are both on that go home show on the 27th. So no Brock and no Roman, at least as of now, listed for next Monday.
So this is now a program between the guy who's the part timer, who doesn't work as hard and just is there to collect bigger paychecks, versus the guy who is not a star, or at least not as big, will never be as big of a star as the other guy. So who do you want to cheer for, the part-timer or the guy who's not, who will never be a big enough star?
And it's injury prone.
Yes. Yeah. Again, like in a promo battle, in any wrestling feud, you have to stab, like you have to like poke holes at each person. Everybody has to take wounds. Does it leave enough for us to want to like cheer for either one? The
question is Seth. Like your idea should be, you're rooting for Seth in this whole thing, and I think he comes across as
rooting for him to do what exactly? Like, why would somebody want to see?
Like in theory, he's going for the championship. Like you should be looking at this. Like they should be convincing you that this means something by Seth regaining this title that he never lost because he got hurt, and the fact that he can finally beat Roman for the title. Like that should mean something. Like, just compare this to...
What do you mean finally beat Roman for the title? He's beat him for the title. Like, the cash in, I'm like, are there others?
Yeah. Well, yes, you had the first cash in. Like, that's the story they're selling here, is that he's going for Roman, he's going for Roman's title this time. It means more.
All right, okay. All right.
And it's not there for me. It's July on the Post Wrestling Cafe, and that means our extensive G1 coverage begins starting July 11th. We're going to have reviews of every single G1 card right up to and including the finals in the middle of August. Plus, Rewind Away takes a look at 2 episodes of Heels. We're also going to be going back to 2005 for a review of WrestleMania 21, and it is the start of our double shot episodes covering this season of Dark Side of the Ring. Plus, we are going to dive into the 3rd season of WWE Unreal. All that and so much more can be yours by signing up to the Post Wrestling Cafe. It gets you XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, Collision Course on a weekly basis, MCU later, and so much more.